Hi, welcome back. This is going to be a really different video than what traditionally I've done. I had a couple of subscribers send some interpreting challenges over to me. So if you're a pro interpreter, a new interpreter, an aspirational interpreter, or if you've watched an interpreter interpret, I think you'll get some really great ideas, best practices when it comes to interpreting out of this video. All right, so let's begin. So I've got a note here just for me to make sure as I've thought through this, all right? 1, can you even handle the assignment in the first place? Do you have the background? Do you have the skills? And when I say skills, I don't mean just the signing skills. Does your background, your vocabulary, your life experience, your work experience, will that be a benefit, an asset to this interpreting situation? Let me give you a personal example. The agencies and the clients that I work with know that in situations of legal, medical, business professional, religious, that's my wheelhouse. That's where I really shine as an interpreter. Now, can I do K through 12 educational interpreting? Yes. I'm probably better off high school, college, depending upon subject. The little kids, I love them. I've got my own grandkids. But in that little K4 maybe, not really my strong suit. I can do it, but not my wheelhouse. And last, how about comedy, theater, drama, music? Don't call me. It's not what I do. I don't do concerts or things like that. There are other interpreters vastly better than I am when it comes to some of those challenges. So next, what are the details of the assignment that you can get? What's the situation? Who's going to be there? What's going on? Right? And sometimes you can get this, and quite frankly, sometimes you can't. You're on the spot immediately. But when I can, I like to find out. Let me give you a medical example. Is this an ongoing appointment? Is this a chronic visit? You know, what's going on with the patient? Right? What can you tell me? How long will this setting be? Right? What's going to, are we doing an X-ray? Are we doing an MRI? Is this just an initial visit? I'm gathering all the information I can. I really take this super serious. My job is to make sure that the communication is as clear and as understandable and as actionable as possible. So I do my homework. Now, when I arrive, I always arrive early, okay? Just as a professional courtesy. I'm gonna sit down with a deaf client and I'm gonna say, okay, tell me, why are we here? What's going on? What are your expectations? All right, give me some feedback. And then I'm going to ask a question which isn't very common. A lot of your ITP programs won't teach this. Are there any signs, right, that you prefer for this thing, what we're going to talk about, whatever? And they're going to tell me, oh, hey, thanks for asking. For this word, I prefer this sign. Cool. Thank you for sharing that with me. I just put that into my signing vocabulary bank, all right? It gets in there, and I will make sure that I use it in the middle of that assignment. It makes the communication real, more important, more valuable to the deaf client. Okay, so here's the question from these 2 subscribers who submitted these requests. What do you do when a word is given and you don't know the sign for that word? What do? Right? Or the even greater challenge is, what if you don't even know the word? Okay, here's what you do. And if you've watched any of my videos, you've already heard this a lot. Finger spell it. Okay, get the word. You're going to finger spell the word. Now, one of 2 things is going to happen. Pay attention here, please. Okay, first, the deaf individual who's already familiar with what's going on, right? Or they want to be at this event, right? They may have some background in this event. I'm going to finger spell the word, and I might say no sign, okay? Do you have a preferred sign after I finger spell it? And that deaf person is going to feed me. F-E-E-D is the term we use in the interpreting profession. They may say, oh, and they'll say the sign is this. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab that sign. Thank you very much. I'm going to put it in that vocabulary word bank, and I'm going to use it. Now, that's point 1. The second option, they don't know it. I don't know it. I have 2 choices. Just continue to finger spell it whenever that word is used throughout the assignment, right? Or I can create a sign on the fly. I'm going to give you some examples of that in these case studies. It's fingerspell, create the sign that makes sense, right? The deaf person goes, got it, okay? They have now agreed, I get it, that in this assignment, we're going to use that sign to reference that word, all right? Let's do these two challenges, these two case studies, okay? Okay, here's the first one. Your assignment is to a vocational rehabilitation, job counseling, Job Corps, whatever it is in your state, all right? Let me give you this line. My company was bought out by another company, so my position in the accounting department was redundant. Take a second, think through that. How would you interpret that? My company was bought out by another company, so my position in the accounting department was redundant. Let's talk about what the intent is. All right, here we go. My company, here, okay. Another company, what do? They bought this company, or they took them over, whatever, however you want to describe it, okay. The other company took them over. That company already had an accounting department. My accounting department, they took over my accounting job. So what's the point of all this? I was laid off. That's a sign for laid off. Okay. Now the word that was used is redundant. They already had one, thus my job was terminated. My position was redundant. Now be careful, don't say it's not dumb, right? It's not superfluous, right? It's the fact that it's duplicative. We don't need two of this position in accounting. So it was redundant. That's how the deaf person would have signed it. Would you have voiced it in that way? Okay, challenge number one. Let's move on to challenge number two. Gonna step up our game a little bit, all right? Okay, as I said, we are stepping up our game. The assignment is the State Department of Agriculture. You're going to a press conference, an instructional type meeting for those that are beekeepers. So let's do bee first. Imagine you're getting stung on the side of your mouth. Bee hand, you're swiping it away. Bee. Okay? So these are hobbyists, right? These are professional beekeepers that are coming to this government press conference instruction education. Okay? So have that going in your head. Here's the first one. Varroa mites were the #1 stressor for operations with 5 or more colonies. That may be what you're doing, all right? Varroa mites. I'm going to guess, unless you're a beekeeper, that's what you're doing, right? You don't just sit there and go, I don't know. That's not your job. Your job is to do the best you can to bridge the communication of Varroa mite. V-A-R-R-O-A, mite, M-I-T-E. You probably know the word mite, like a little bug. Bug, okay? So V-A-R-R-O-A, mite. Does the deaf person have a sign? They say, yes, great, they give it to me. On we go, and I use that sign the rest of the day. Now, if they don't, I go, cool. I can either spell V-A-R-R-O-A, M-I-T-E, one solution. V-A-R-R-O-A, mite, that's the sign for bug. Second solution. Here's another one, you just go VM. VM. VM? Okay. Deaf persons acknowledge that this is the abbreviation. Thus going forward, I'm going to use every time that instruction says, hey, Varroa mites. They get it, I get it, let's keep going. Now, Varroa mites were the #1 stressor for operations. Champion on top, #1, okay? But this isn't champion successful, is it? Varroa mites were the #1 stressor in your brain. You know what stress is. Stress and keeping bees alive is probably not a good thing, is it? So, Varroa mites, champion, #1, or what? Worse. They were the worst stressor. Got it? Worse. All right. Let's go with our second thing from the Department of Agriculture. Okay, here we go. However, Absconding is very different. It still involves scout bees, and it includes waggle dances to communicate distance and direction. You're probably doing that again. Let's break that up. However, although absconding, do you know what the word abscond means? Abscond means to run away, take off, hidden, privately. See what my shoulders are automatically doing, right? So if we have bees and they're absconding, they're taking off, right? Okay, now remember, does a bee go off like this if they're absconding one by one? No, what? The entire hive runs away. They abscond. However, they follow scout bees, not a Boy Scout, okay? If they're following a scout bee, that bee is looking for what? A new home. That's what a scout bee does. Scout bees, who does a waggle dance. Okay, I love that. A waggle dance, which indicates distance and direction. Okay, you could make something up like, oh, dance, that's wrong, isn't it? Okay, or this, no, that's wrong. W-A-G-G-L-E-D-A-N-C, a waggle dance. Now, if the two of you, right, eyeball to eyeball, agree to a WD, that's fine. Okay, a W dance, that's okay as long as the definition of it has already been agreed to by you and the client. This is all happening in real time. This is why interpreting is such a challenge and so cool, quite frankly. So that waggle dance or W dance, what's its purpose? It shows distance. What did I just do? How far. This is the sign for how far. We've got a bee colony leaving. Scout bees are already out there. The waggle dance shows the group distance and where to go. Direction. Okay? Where to go. All right, how are you feeling? All right? One of the cool challenges of being an interpreter. All right, next one. This was a really good challenge. All right, I appreciate those subscribers who sent those in. Either as a professional interpreter, you're sitting at the front of your seat and going, hey, that was fantastic. If you're an aspirational interpreter, you may be sitting back and saying, I'm never going to get this right. Well, it takes time. All right, look, if you're learning how to be an interpreter, if you're in a class of interpreters, if you have some friends, do me a favor, have them subscribe to the channel first. Second, if you have some challenges, send them to me. You know, here on YouTube, there's a million people who are creating videos. Most of the videos that do really well are those, you know, hey, 35 first signs, 50 beginning signs, 20 signs you must know. Okay, that's cool. But it really is just meant for novelty signers. Do you think we ought to create more videos with interpreting challenges and get a lot more feedback? I don't know. Leave me some feedback in the comments. Let me know if that would work for you. I'd appreciate you subscribing. Sorry. Thanks.